Hey everyone. I thought I'd give my 2 cents or my thoughts on this whole government shutdown thing. Now, for any of you that are like me, that are worried about what it's going to do to you, all you have to do is Google and research government shutdown, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and you'll pretty much find out that you're not going to be affected that much. If you're already part of SSI, if you already get SSI and SSDI, then you are perfectly fine. However, let's say you got a hearing coming up, you may have to wait a little bit, or if you're trying to apply, then that's going to have to be held off until, that might take a little longer, if not held off until this whole shutdown thing is taken care of. Now, quite honestly, I'll say this, folks. I think I voice the sentiments of a lot of people when I say this is pathetic. This is stupid. A lot of us may not like Obama. A lot of us may not like his whole Obamacare deal. But the solution is easy. A compromise is easy. The solution and compromise, in my opinion, is you want to give it a time limit. That's mainly what it is. Give it a year. Give it a year. Give it from right now, or at least give it, let's say, from the beginning of November till the beginning of next November, and see what happens. And if there's no real progress in between now and then you have the right, then Congress would have the right to say, Obamacare's done. Give it that kind of a compromise. Obama, after 1 year, would have to say, you know what, nothing really happened. If he hears from the Republicans and is shown evidence that Obamacare didn't really succeed like he wanted, then he can compromise and agree to shut it down. Say, okay, no more Obamacare. We'll let the people do what they want. And that's it. It's easy. That's the kind of, the compromise is easy. The compromise is that easy. It's that simple. Give it a year. Give it a year. And if it doesn't work, then fine. After a year, get rid of it. After a year, get rid of Obamacare. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. The fact is, you can't just keep saying, oh, we want this. It's like, you're trying to negotiate, and everybody understands you're trying to do this, but come on, guys. On both ends, let's be honest. Let's be honest, okay? We all know, both Republicans and Democrats. I'm a Republican. I'm not going to deny that. But we both know times, there are certain people, a part of both sides, that are upstart, and basically upper crust, like, oh, we're not going to vote for you because we're smarter, we're better. Those are the kind of people that are basically doing this. And there's a lot of Republicans and Democrats that are just sitting behind them, because even though they could vote and say, hey, let's hold on, let's see where this goes, they're more like, no matter what we say, hey, right now, we could say, hey, let's say, no, we don't want to vote on this yet. Let's see how this goes. No, even if they say that, they're going to be outvoted. They're going to be outvoiced. And I do agree with what a lot of people are saying. Sooner or later, Republicans and Democrats, certain Republicans and Democrats, are going to push themselves away. And they're going to say, you know what, no, we don't want to deal with this. We don't want any part of this. This is stupid. Which is why I firmly believe this whole thing's not going to last much longer. If you want the honest truth, in my honest to free will God opinion, my honest to God free will opinion, I should say, sorry Lord for saying it that way, but my honest to God free will opinion, here is how I look at it. It's not just about health care. It's not just about who controls the Senate, or who controls Congress, who has the leeway, who has the most leverage, who has the advantage. It's more along the lines that the Republicans, the certain Republicans, like this one guy, are finally seeing an opportunity to make Obama look worse than a lot of people have accused him to be. As president, and possibly weaken his status as leader of our country. And you know why? Because the more they make him look bad, the more they make him look weak, the better chances in their minds, and again, this is just my honest opinion, but better chances in their minds, if you will, that they can get him out of office a lot sooner than before the next presidential election, next presidential election, I should say. They can get him out of office a lot sooner than that next presidential election. That, in my opinion, is what this whole thing's really about. To get him out of office a lot sooner. Do they have any idea what's going to happen? They get him out? If that's probably part of this whole situation, you know what's going to happen? Do they not know their history? If a president is assassinated, or a president is impeached, or is forced to resign, then the vice president takes over. That's what happens. Do you not see that? Now, I'm not saying Biden would be worse. But I think in their old school mentality, because that's what a lot of these Congress people have, is old school mentality. They look at Biden, because if this is the case, if this is one of the main strong reasons, they're doing this. Just my opinion, because I can't think of anything else besides the healthcare situation and wanting to do this and that. Because I believe the real reason behind this is they want Obama out of his presidency a lot sooner than and even before the next presidential election. That's what they want. And maybe if that is the case, maybe if that is the real reason behind all of this, because let's be honest, Democrats and Republicans, if we have a president that's a Republican, or if we have a president that's a Republican and is doing what a lot of people, and doing certain things that people will agree with and not agree with, of course you're going to have a group of Democrats that are going to be like, you know what? We want this guy out. We got to find a way to get this guy out of office. We got to find a way to get this guy out of power. And when they find that window of opportunity, they'll seize it. And they'll come up with any kind of excuse or any kind of reason as to why. And that's the whole reason for this whole, hey, we're not going to do anything, this whole situation right now. It's not the fact that you're trying to say, hey, let's do this, let's do that, let's compromise, let's talk. And a compromise would be great, especially one I suggested at the beginning. But, it's not just this whole negotiating deal. It's more along the lines that certain Republicans, like this one guy, that's basically been the focal point on the Republican side, is they see an opportunity in front of them to finally get Obama out. Or at least make him look so bad and so pathetic as a leader. If you will. Make him look so bad and so pathetic as a leader. That he would have no choice in their minds than to resign as President of the United States. Now look, let's be honest, a lot of us don't really like Obama. Okay, we don't. We really don't like him. But, here's the thing. It's like my mom has said, it's like my pastor has said, it's like a lot of reverends, a lot of other pastors, like my pastor at my church has said, other pastors have said, other reverends, fathers, if you will, if you're Catholic, a lot of cardinals, have said, you gotta pray for our leaders. We may not like who gets elected, but you gotta pray for them because God has a reason for them being there. He has a purpose for them being in the position that they're in. That's the whole thing. He has a reason for them being in the position that they're in. Now, does it mean, we have to like them or support them? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean we have to support them. We just got to pray for them. And the truth is, a lot of the people, they look at Obama and they feel, in my opinion, this is my honest opinion, they feel that Obama is not living up to his expectations because because to them, this is why they feel Obama right now is an easy target for what's going on. Not just his Obamacare deal, but him as a whole. Why he's an easy target. And this is why Congress are acting the way they do. This is why they're at war. And why a lot of them are putting the blame game, if you will, pointing the finger and playing the blame game and pointing the finger at Obama. Doesn't matter which side. It's real simple. Because in the eyes of a lot of Americans, in my honest opinion, they look at Obama and they look at a man that doesn't deserve to be in office. That's the whole thing. There are Americans, in my honest opinion, that look at Obama and believe he doesn't deserve to be in office, and they believe it for the same reason that I think some of these Republicans that want him out of office, because I believe that's one of the main reasons behind this. They're not going to come out and tell you. But one of the main reasons behind this is because they all look at Obama as not having the guts, if you will, not having the courage, if you will, to stand up to his fellow Democrats and say, no, I'm not going to listen to what you guys have to say anymore. I'm going to actually listen to what they have to say. I mean, he came out to the Rose Garden yesterday, and, he said what he did. But when I listen to that, and I hear him at times targeting the Republicans, I don't hear Obama saying that. I don't hear Barack Obama saying that. No. I hear the Democratic side of Congress saying that. And that is why a lot of people don't have faith, that much belief, or much faith, or much support in our president. That's why some of these Republicans that do respect him, that do support him, are kind of, they don't know what to think right now. They're kind of, they're not sure which side to go on because of the facts, folks, that he doesn't, this is my honest opinion. Again, remember, this is my honest opinion. They believe he doesn't have the courage to stand up to Democrats and say, look, I know you guys don't like what they're saying, but let's listen to them. To them, he can come out to the Rose Garden, he can do his presidential news conferences and all that and say, hey, look, and stand up against what's going on in Syria. He can stand up for what happens at times with Russia. Or not Russia, but with North Korea. He can stand up and say all that, and that's great. He can come out and say, hey, and announce that our troops are coming home. That's great. That's all great, and that's fine. But in the eyes of some of these people, some of the Republicans that are part of this right now, that, apparently want him out of office. Because let's be honest, that's exactly what, again, it's not just, let's face it, it's not about the health care deal. Yeah, it is majorly a part of that. But the real reason behind this whole situation is an opportunity that has been taken. And that opportunity is to get our president out of office. And again, we may not like him, we may not support some of his ideals, but the truth is God put him there for a reason. All we have to do is pray for him. We have to pray that he makes the right decisions. And in my honest opinion, there are several Americans out there that feel that, like some of these Republicans, that, hey, you want our support, you want us to get behind you, you need to stand up to your fellow Democrats and put your foot down and say, hey, look, I'm the leader of this country, let's hear what these Republicans have to say. Because you think he honestly wants to be in the middle of this? No, he doesn't. Now, does he want to give up his baby, his Obamacare deal? No, not really. That is why I believe that if he and the Democrats just sit down and do a compromise with the Republicans to say, hey, look, let's give it a year and see what happens. Let's give it 1 year. Starting this November, let's give it a year and see where Obamacare goes. And if it doesn't succeed, we can get rid of it. We can shut it down. Give it a year. That's it. That's as simple as it gets. You know, don't threaten people's jobs. Don't threaten people's rights to want to go to national parks and have a good time with the families, and all of a sudden they have to cancel it and stay home. Don't do that. Don't threaten possible Head Start programs or public school programs. Don't do that. Work out a compromise, and the compromise, as I said at the beginning, and I just said now, is as easy as this. Sit down, agree to let this thing go for a year, and if it doesn't go anywhere after a year, you can get rid of it. You can null and void it and axe it out of existence. It's as simple as that. You know, I looked online and I was wondering how this would affect my mom's job. And hopefully this thing doesn't go any further than maybe another few days, maybe another week or so, because this is truly pathetic. See, my mom is a Head Start teacher, all right? But her Head Start organization is in the Tri-Valley. They have several sites around there. And they have about 20 to 40 kids per site. So to me, I'm looking at it like this. She probably won't get as affected as maybe some of the bigger, more profitable federal funded Head Start programs out there. You know, her program might get hit a little bit, but won't be as affected as those bigger, more profitable federal funded Head Start programs. Because they said 20 out of 1,600 would be affected. And if this goes any longer, then yeah, that 20 is going to grow, and there's going to be more Head Starts, and that's what I worry about my mom. That's what I worry about with my mom. The fact that she could end up having her job affected by this if something isn't compromised, if something isn't agreed upon. And again, the compromise in the eyes is as easy as 1, 2, 3, folks. Give it a year, nothing happens. After a year, get rid of it. You know, it's as simple as that, folks. It's as simple as that. I mean, I know a lot of people, you'll watch this and you'll think, well, why can't it be as that simple? You'll say, it's not going to be that simple. Well, you know what? It is that simple. Because, again, the real reason behind this isn't just Obamacare, even though it's at the forefront, the healthcare situation. Yeah, it's at the forefront. But the real reason is not just that. It's not just money, that either. It's the truth behind it, in my honest opinion, is there are people in the Republican House, in the Republican Party of Congress, that see an opportunity has opened up, sees a window of opportunity has opened up to make the president look worse than he already is at times. I mean, not already is, but look worse than people think he could be, people have pictured him to be. And basically, they believe that this window of opportunity is the best chance to make his reputation look worser than what a lot of people perceive it to be, and it's an opportunity for them to find, in their opinion, to probably down the line get this guy out of office. That's the honest truth. Now, I don't support some of his ideals, okay? I don't. But again, like my mom has said, like a lot of pastors, fathers, reverends, missionaries, everybody has said, God has him there for a reason, and all we have to do is pray for him and pray for the rest of our leaders. Like we have to pray for the president of Russia. We have to pray for the Queen of England. We have to pray for the Prime Minister there. We have to pray for, Prince, for Prince William and Princess Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge. We got to pray for the son. These are people we have to pray for and pray to God, pray for and pray to God that he gives them the wisdom to lead. That's the honest truth, folks. Again, yes, the Obama healthcare situation is at the forefront. It's always going to be at the forefront. Yes, the money, the credit deal is at that forefront as well. But the truth behind it all, in my honest opinion, and you can agree with this or not, my honest opinion, is the whole real reason behind the scenes is to get Obama out of office. And it's a window of opportunity that is opened up for some Republicans and even some Democrats to make that a reality, or at least take the first steps in making that a reality. But you know what? It's a reality that I hate to tell people this, it's not going to happen. God has him there for a reason. We may not like the guy, we may not like him personally, we may not support his ideals, but God has him there for a reason. Why do you think why do you think people always flock to his wife? Because his wife actually is somebody they can relate to. And by flocking to his wife and saying, hey, look, let's talk. Michelle Obama is willing to let you know the guy's not that bad. The husband's not that bad. It's just the decisions he's got to make. It's the ideals it's just, the fact is, again, we may not support Barack Obama may not support many of his ideals, but he's there for a reason. God has him there for a reason. And God also has a reason for why we have his wife always in the forefront, showing the support for him. And get this, his wife is more over with the people than Barack is. But with her being more over, that helps his image. It makes people realize, okay, we may not like some of his ideals, but if he's like, okay, we may not like some of his ideals, but he's doing what he can. He's doing the best job he can right now. And again, the honest truth is, God has a reason for a lot of this happening. But like I said, getting back on topic, the real reason, in my opinion, that we got this whole thing happening is not just because healthcare, Obamacare healthcare is at the forefront of it. The money situation is at the forefront of it. No. It's the behind-the-scenes truth, and this is the one thing nobody wants you to know, because it's my honest-to-God opinion. My honest-to-God opinion that the real reason behind this is because a window of opportunity is opened up. A window of opportunity is opened up for some Republicans on that Republican side of things right now, and some of the Democrats on the Democrat side of things, to get Obama out of office, or at least make him look worse than what people perceive him to be. To ruin and tarnish his reputation, so that in their minds, as I mentioned earlier, he would have no choice but to resign as president. But guess what? That's not going to happen. From what I have seen, whether we like this guy or not, he's the kind of president that's going to basically going to drive through this storm. He's going to ride through this storm all the way to the end of his all the way to the end of his second and final term. That's what he's going to do. We may not like the guy, we may not like his ideals, we may not support some of them, but you know what? God has him there for a reason. I'll admit this. There are some things I do like about him. I like the fact that he does take time out sometimes to, like during the March Madness. I like the fact that he takes time out, and he's just a regular guy. It's like he's not just a president, but when he's doing his bracket picks, it's the bracket picks of basically a regular American. That's what I like about it. There's certain things that I like about him because he does act like an average Joe. He's not, he's not just taking on all the pressures of being a president. He also acts like an average guy. So that's cool. He does regular American, average American. He does regular things that you would see normal people like me and you do. But the truth is, again, we may not support some of his ideals, and we may not like some of his personality, but God has him there for a reason. And again, that, like I said, the honest reason, in my opinion, this whole thing is a window of opportunity. That some Republicans and Democrats have seen to try to get him out of office, or at least tarnish his reputation to the point that people will look at him when his second term is done as being the worst president we've had. But guess what? If you look at popularity vote, he's basically above Clinton. He's basically above Clinton and everything. And you got to remember, he's young. He's young. That's why he was voted in. Just like when JFK was voted in over 50 years ago, when he was voted in. People voted them in because they were young, because they were young. They were basically because they were young and they could understand where this new generation was coming from. That's why they were voted in. Because basically they could relate to this new generation. It's the same reason why Clinton was voted in over 20 years ago. Because they could understand this new generation. Because they were young. And young people want young presidents. This is basically their way of stating, hey, we no longer want the gray-haired presidents or anything. We want young guys. We want young men or women to be our leaders. It's basically what it is, folks. But again, honest to God opinion. Honest to God opinion. You could put the health care, you could put the money situations and all that in front as being the main courses, or being the main reasons for these government shutdowns. From my honest to God opinion, there's more to it, and I believe what's more to it is they found a window of opportunity to make Obama look bad, to make him look worse than that some people perceived, and that by doing so in their minds, they've taken that first major step to get him out of office. But again, I hate to break it to them or anybody else that hopes for that, it's not going to happen, because this guy obviously can ride, has proven that he'll ride through any kind of crap storm you put through him, and he'll ride it out to the end of his second and final term. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Take your time in watching this video, but let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with some of my opinions? Or you want to voice your own, go ahead. But let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll talk to you all later. God bless, and take care.